docteur pied, cardiologue, avec un pilote spécialiste encore. Service accès, food stamp, Medicaid, Medicare, n'a aidé ou pour qu'avin citoyen américain sans ou pas payer rien. Alto Health là pour nous tendre ou les ou parler. Relais Gilbert Francklin à 954 667 48 85. 954 667 48 85 pour nous résoudre tout problème. Adresse nous c'est 4850 West Oakland Park Boulevard, Lauderdale Lakes, Florida, 33313. Alto Health rive côté l'autre pas qu'arriver.
C'est ton anniversaire.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today is one of my favorite ladies' birthday. And I say one of the favorite because there's so many people listening. I don't want anybody to get jealous, but today's my first daughter's birthday. And when this young lady was born, she literally spin my life around and change things around. So everyone that's listening right now, I want you guys to help me celebrate her today. She's still young, so I could give her age, but I don't want to give her age, then they'll know how old I am. I love you. You look so beautiful. Happy birthday, Chloe. I love you, baby. As always, you guys should go live on WSRF 1580 AM or on YouTube or Facebook. And something didn't sound too right there. Facebook. Come on live and watch us and subscribe to this show so you could watch us every week. It's always been a pleasure. Go check us out live on WSRF 1580 or call us on 305-945-1580 with your comments. We're about to start the show. Compa. I love you, baby. Thanks. Bayo gâté dans même, oui. Jean-Robert, on va faire des ordres. Encore bon anniversaire à Chloé Franklin.
Enjoy.
Merci Jean-Robert, merci. Mes amis qui j'ennuie. Oh, wait a minute, this is the English version. Let's try that again. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. This is Gilbert Francklin, source of information. The only place where you could get news about or information about Medicare, Medicaid, low-income subsidy, retirement benefits. I've been talking about a lot about retirement benefits this week. So, but today we're gonna concentrate on a very special period right now. Open enrollment for the Part B. Those of you who have lost your Part B or your Part A, this is the right time right now for you to enroll in a Part B Medicare. You have until the 31st of March to do so. And let's get into the importance of having Part B. First of all, Part B cover you, Part A cover you for hospital, anything that has to do with being inside the hospital. So the Part A covers that for you, whether it's the room, whether it's um, even to a certain extent, the room and the service. But most of all, in terms of the doctors, the Part B covers that the primary care, the specialist. The Part B will cover that for you fully. I have to. They tell me that I have to stop saying fully, because every year there's some change that's happening on Medicare. And this is where we have to be very careful, okay? Because every year they're taking something from it. They're taking something from it. Some of the politician goal is to eliminate it altogether, and what a shame that would be. This is a type of program that benefits that we all need, and we deserve it because we've invested in it throughout our lifetime. And so it's something that we have to protect. But nevertheless, the Part B, open enrollment starts from January 1st to March 31st. Now, excuse me. Now, during that period of time, if you had lost your Part B, and let me give you reason that you would have lost it. A lot of people may have enrolled in Part B when they first applied for retirement benefits. And for those of you who decided, well, I'm just going to enroll in Medicare, not enroll in retirement benefits, so you are exposed, because now every 3 months they're going to send you a bill for the premium for Part B. Actually, this year the premium for Part B is $202.90. I've seen some people paying $202.60, but today I read something that said $202.90, so we're going to go with that. The $202.90. One thing that I wish that they had done is take a percentage, a small percentage of for your Medicare that would also cover the Part B. So when the time comes for you to take your benefits, you could automatically take it without having to worry about money coming out of your Social Security, or for you to pay out of your pocket for the Part B premium. So a lot of people have opted, especially those of you that was born in 1960. Now you have an option and said, well, I'm gonna take the Medicare benefits at the age of 65, but I'm gonna wait to take my retirement at my full retirement age, which is 67. Now, one thing we find that it's really a dilemma for a lot of people, because now that money's coming out of your pocket, and some of you don't even want that money to come out of the Social Security benefits. So we have to come to a conclusion. What's the best way to address this? And thank God that some of the plans have what we call a give back plan, and that's the only time that you probably hear me promoting a give back plan, simply because listen to the word give back. So what they give you, they're going to take it back in another place. For example, your hospitalization, you're going to have a copayment. It's a high copayment for the first 5 days. But a lot of people are weighing, okay, take the give back plan, or not having any insurance at all, or take the insurance from your current employer. Those are all options. But right now, if you had lost your Part B because of the fact that you allow it to, you didn't pay the premium, so now you could re-enroll, even though you didn't have you didn't have a plan. Now, Obamacare is not considered a plan that Medicare would accept. So that's why as soon as you turn 65, the Obamacare, the ACA automatically, it's they literally terminate your policy because it doesn't cover you beyond 65. Now, when you enroll in Part B right now, not unless you have Medicaid, your Part B is not going to be immediately effective. You have until July 1st. You have to wait till July 1st for it to be effective. Now, I don't know why they do it that way. For me, I would prefer that as soon that you send in your application and we find a way to automatically have you start as immediate as possible. Because right now, I was listening to a comedian last night, and he was saying that how those of us that's 30, he used 35 and up, said those of us that's 35 and up, we look good. And I agree with him. We do look good. And we have to do our best to stay that way. However, there are a few that didn't really take care of themselves, and those few need medical attention immediately, right away. They can't afford to wait. So therefore, those people should be able to get the Medicare Part B premium, not necessarily premium, but activated as soon as possible so they could start seeing doctors. And we often talk about doctors, but we don't often talk about the other added benefits that comes with that, whether it's dental, whether it's vision, whether it's hearing. So those once you have the Part B premium, I'm talking about premium. Once you have the Part B benefits, then all those things are added onto it. 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. Now, here's the trick. The question is, how do I apply for Part B if I lost it? Well, there's an application that we literally, a hand application, we fill out the information for you, and you sign it. And I think before they used to have you go to your employer, and for your employer to fill a part of it, but I don't think that's the case anymore. We fill out the application, then we take the application to Social Security. There's a young lady that I did that for about a week or 2 weeks ago, and when I went there, and the office was closing, and I went towards the side, and the gentleman was coming out, and I asked him is there a box where I could drop this envelope? He said, no, I'll take it from you. So this is going out. Anybody that's listening to me, the Social Security in the Tamarack office, my hat goes out to you, because he was coming out. He could have continued going about his business, but he was nice enough to stop, take the envelope from you, went back and drop it off. And immediately, this lady was able to get her Part B benefits right away. So that's one way to do it. You go to the Social Security office with the fill application and give it to them, and they'll activate your Part B. Now, what you don't want to do is make the mistake again to have your Part B lapse. And so this is where the give back program comes back in, because at that point, the plan is going to pay a portion for you, and what you're going to pay is very minimal, $10 or $17, something like that, a month. Now, I don't suggest that you stay on that. Don't be over comfortable. There's another word for it. But for lack of a better word, we're going to use comfortability. Don't be too comfortable in that plan for more than a year or two. Because as we're getting older, if we're not active, and even when we are active, and depending on the job that we have, if you have a stressful job, such as mine, a friend of mine had reminded me I have two jobs, one in the radio and one at the clinic. So, and it doesn't feel that way at times. Sometimes I feel it. But bottom line is that don't be too comfortable and staying in that plan, because you have to immediately, as soon as you possibly can, to switch to a regular plan. And especially if you're no longer working, then we're going to find out if you're eligible for Medicaid. So Medicaid the state could pay the Part B premium for you. While we're on the Part B, there's some news about the Part D, which is the prescription drugs. We're going to talk about that a little bit, although it was not on the heading. But the Part D, one of the things that we're doing at Alto is that, and I'm going to make it public, because if I have knowledge about something that could benefit the population as a whole, then we should make it available. I'm willing to make it available on air. But you got to have your clinic be willing to help you along the way. If you have questions, you could call me at 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. What we're doing for all our patients, literally fill out a hardship form for them. The hardship form, what it does is basically allow them to utilize any program, federal program that's available, so they could reduce your prescription drug, your copayment. A few months ago, I went to a company called AHF. It's a AIDS Health Foundation. I was trying to find out which way, Léonce, I'm on air, mais si vous voulez parler en air, je prends appel. Alors, où dans l'air? Donne-moi un petit moment. Répétez, où est parler Kounia?
Ça m'a fait comprendre. Ou bien 90% haïtiens de créole yo parler, mais on bloqué l'un parce que là ou parler plus fort anglais pour monde qui comprend anglais yo, mais on faut changer le système là mais.
Moi, remercie premièrement d'après que vous relais pour faire une rectification. Nous avons deux émissions. Émission ça d'ordinaire nous fait en anglais. Deuxième partie nous fait en créole. Mais nous toujours n'importe qui qui relais ou une question ou qu'a poser en créole et puis nous même après pour nous en créole de même. But m'apprécie le fait que vous relais. OK. À part de ça, tout va en forme?
Bien, grâce à Dieu, tout va OK.
OK. Tu parles avec Zamo dit, pourquoi tu parles avant la dernière fois? Je me dis avec là.
Oh, de là, tu es
exactement. All right.
Comment tu es une seule fois, mais comment
est l'enforme.
Mais pour qui? Oh, OK.
All right. Bon, nous pas qu'à parler tout dans l'air?
All right. N'a parlé.
OK, d'accord. Ou arrêlez encore. OK,
All right.
bye. Yes, listen. This is something that we are trying because the late baby boomers that was raised here and that's listen to this station because whether it's the compa, whether it's the information, we want to give them a diversity where they could this information they could listen to it in English as well. Where then it's not necessarily that they're more comfortable with English, but at least a language that they could understand for some of our kids who the English is not the Creole is become their secondary language. We want to give them a diverse atmosphere so they could get the information as well. So, but on Mondays we make it a effort to bring the same information in English in Creole and make it available to you. But ceci pas empêche pour que ou même qui gagne une question en créole pour parler. So, bien content que tout le monde attendait et nous remercions que nous-mêmes dans la source d'information nous toujours ouverts pour que nous open to criticism. Parce que tout autant que ou pas ouvrir tête à criticism, de nous pas grandir. So, nous remercions auditeurs ça et je toujours dis tout le monde qui connaît, il a un droit. Droit gagner là que ou on ba qui pas normal, il a un droit pour que relève puis dire Gilbert, ça pas normal. So, ou même qui gagne droit utiliser droit ça relève ou gagne relève toujours dans 954 667 48 85 954 667 48 85. Tant que je nomme ça à ce faire là. Yes, so let's continue. So the part D right now, everybody has a co-payment. So what we're doing at Alto is we're using a hardship application. The hardship application, what it does is basically find out any governmental benefits or subsidies or coupons that they could utilize to lower your prescription drug costs. And that's what's great about it. Now, some of the plans who already have their own pharmacy, they absorb the cost. Now, of course, they so-called claim that it's illegal for them to do that. But something that's benefiting the patients as a whole, when the federal government have decided not to renew some of those benefits, that would benefit you as a patient, you as a citizen, and those benefits were not continued. So when you go to your primary care, find out if you are paying a higher copay, then find out what can be done to help lower your prescription drug costs. 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. Give me a call. English, Creole, all are welcome. Expect Spanish because my Spanish is not that great. So I want to be able to understand you. But yes, so the Part D copay is extremely high, and the only way to combat it right now is with a hardship application, and find out if your pharmacy or the clinic's pharmacy that they use have such a program where your prescription drug is not expensive. So that in itself is very important. Um, I'm not certain whether this particular call is. Yes. Anyway, find out if the hardship program is available in the clinic close to you. And actually, most of the pharmacies that you go to, you should ask them if they have discount that they could use towards your medication. It's 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 always good to ask. Sometime if you don't ask, you're not going to know. So it's always good to ask. So we talk about the part B, I'm sorry. And let's not make that mistake and lose our part B. I have a gentleman right now that I'm trying to help. He had the part A and B. The state was paying for them, and I guess what he was getting from SSI was not sufficient, so he decided to go back to work. And when Social Security find out, remember SSI is a state benefits, so the state control it. However, the state pass it on to Social Security to administer it, supervise it, run it, however you want to call it. So when they found out he was working and the amount of money that he was making, they automatically cancel his Part A, cancel his Part B, and the way they cancel is by not paying for those benefits for him anymore. And now it's a struggle to get him back the Part A and the Part B. So you don't want to get to that point where now you have to fight back to get those benefits, especially when you're at the age, when you're in your 70s, when you really, really, really need those benefits. 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. So it's very important to make sure that you keep those benefits intact. And the only way to keep the Part B intact is by paying that premium. And when you sit down with your broker or your agent, find out what are your options. I always suggest that you pick someone with experience. They could possibly help you in terms of making such a decision, because then there's different options that they could offer you. Don't pick someone that's only interested in their welfare, but pick someone that's interested in your welfare. 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. Call us now. Now, there's so much we could say about Part B, and there's so much we could say about the Part D. Let me touch on SSI. Because is when you no longer have a lot of you. Let me retract that. A lot of you tells me that, well, I'm going back to Haiti. I don't want SSI. And if you have a resident card every 6 months or so, you have to come back to the United States. If you're a U.S. citizen, you don't have to come back. But if you're a U.S. citizen, in terms of SSI, you can't spend no more than 30 days. Thank you. No more than 30 days outside of the United States. So what you have to understand is this. Right now, you need a benefits that's going to take care of you at this moment. If you're unable to eat, which with the SSI, it's going to provide you access to food stamp. It's going to provide you access to health care. Those of you who have Medicaid and Medicare have the best program in the United States. It's fair to say that your benefits, your health care benefits, is, especially in South Florida, your health care benefit is just about equal to what the President of the United States is receiving. The only difference is the President of the United States, he goes to an army base to get to see the doctor, just like a veteran. But all the things that he's covered for, you're covered for them. It may not be to the same extent, but you are covered for them as well. So SSI, yes, it has a lot of limitation because primarily it's there for individual that really not making much money. So you get the adequate coverage, and now the state's going to pay your premium for the Part A and the Part B for you. If you have questions, you could call me now at 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. Give me a call. So you have 30 days, no more than 30 days that you could spend outside the United States. Now, I would venture to say that before you even consider enrolling in an SSI, then what I want you to consider is that when you go to Haiti, are you going to restrict yourself to 30 days? Because if you're not, then what I want you to do is, before you leave, get on the phone and let them know to hold on to the benefits for the following months. And once you get back, you could call them and restart that plan. Because a lot of people get themselves in a lot of trouble just because of that. Now, I understand the fact that once you go to Haiti, the pleasure, the feeling, the vibe, you're at home. So you may not want to come back. But before you go, get everything straight. Make sure that when you're coming back, that you could always restart that program for you. That you're not going to lose your Medicare. Because it's something that's important for you. Because then your Medicare will be covered by the state for you, but Part A and Part B. Imagine, for those of you who's not aware of, right now, the coverage for Part A and Part B is about $800. Part A is $500 and change. Part B is $202.90. Just saying it out loud is frightening. Because I remember when I first started in this business, the Part B premium was $77. Now it's $202.90. And let's pray that they don't tack on any penalty for late enrollment. So let's do everything that you could do right now. Right now, enroll back in the Medicare Part B and take out an oath and say, well, I'm going to do better. I'm going to pay the premium on time. Or if I'm not, I'm going to check to see what other alternative that I have to maintain the Part B premium so I could maintain all my benefits. 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. Yes, you see the number on the screen right now. So this is the number to call right now if you watching us live on Facebook or YouTube on WSIF 1580 AM. The second hour we're going to simulcast on 3 different stations. So stay tuned. And by the way, when you go on, the next thing you're going to do is subscribe. Subscribe to this channel, the YouTube channel, and the Facebook channel, so that you could always get this show while you're out. So to continue with SSI. Oh, by the way, this show has a new sponsorship, and the next hour as well. And I will make that announcement for you at the next hour in Creole. And thank all the people that was influential in keeping us live on the air, and influential, and continue to make sure that this information is available to you. So we'll talk more about that. Let's continue with the information. This information that you're getting in terms of SSI is very important. Don't take it for granted, because the day that the government said, well, this is what's the word they use? The word escaped me right now. But for most of you, it's benefits that you pay for. Entitled, that's the word. That you are entitled. No, you're not entitled. You live in the second most richest country in the world, behind China. A lot of people may not want to hear that, but that's the reality. And so if that's the case, then health care should be a given. But it's not. So you have to be able to enjoy the what you have, because I believe that if Social Security had come up during this time right now, it would not pass Congress. It would not pass, because so many people are more interested about their own self and not your interests. They are interested more about their interests. What am I getting out of this? Then, as opposed to you as the people, how can we help you? So 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. Let me hear from you. Apply for SSI, ask question, and that way you could get the help that you need. It's all about getting the help that you need. And it's very easy to apply for SSI. Basically, you go to the Social Security office, let them know that you're here to apply for SSI. They'll take your application, and they'll send you home. They'll find out they'll find out if they may need some documents from you, such as how much you pay for rent, how much you pay for utilities, do you have money in the bank? So those are questions that they're trying to determine whether you have money in the bank. If you do, then you're not eligible for it. If you feel that you're in need of that benefits, then apply for it. Apply for it. Apply for it. Let me give you the rules, because if you're going to apply for it, then you got to know the rules. Rule number 1 is that you have to be a U.S. citizen. Rule number 2, you cannot spend more than 30 days outside the United States. Rule number 3, any change that's happening inside your household, you must report. And rule number 4 is that you can't have, as an individual, you can't have no more than $2,000 in the bank. And as a couple, you can have no more than $3,000 in the bank. So you can have no more than $3,000 in the bank as an individual. So sorry about that. There's $2,000 for an individual and $3,000 for a couple. And those are the only rules that they have. Once you're eligible for SSI, you also become eligible for food stamp and Medicaid. But you have to apply for them. On Monday, we will do this show in Creole, because I think it's extremely necessary for everyone to know the rules, and so they don't get themselves in trouble. For example, do you know that once, let's take the example about having spent 30 days, past 30 days outside the United States. They're not going to catch you. They're not going to catch you right away, or they'll have the information on you, but they're not going to do anything about it right away. A year may go by, and that's when they ask you to come into the office or send you a letter and said, we're going to discontinue your SSI. As of this month, you're going to have to pay for the premium part. Actually, they'll cancel it because they're not paying for the premium part A and part B for you. That's when you realize that you're in trouble. Quickly, I had a client that comes to the office, and he's got a bill of I don't remember, but it was a nice amount. I think it was maybe about $20,000. What happened is that he was working, but this is about disability. He was collecting disability and then decided to go back to work. Well, from the time that they find out that he's passing the income eligibility amount. Then what they should have done is basically within weeks of them finding out, discontinue it. But they didn't do that. They allowed times after time to go by, and then two years later, they decided, well, we're going to send you a bill. And they sent him a bill of $21,000. Those are the things that you want to avoid. You want to avoid those things, so you don't get those bills. I don't know if I'm making sense for you. And if I'm not making sense, please call right now, 305-945-1580. So that's why I always suggest that before you get involved, ask questions. Because there's a verse in the Bible and say, my people are dying because of lack of knowledge. The word lack comes a lot in the Bible because there's so many things that we're lacking on. But if we have the knowledge about them, then we will not have lack on certain things. There's a verse that talks about that. It said, those who seek his face shall lack no good things. I think that's in Psalm 34, verse 10, I believe. I might be getting that wrong. So we want to make sure you lack, in terms of the information about Medicare and Social Security and all those benefits or SSI, that you lack no information about that. Because already what you're receiving is not sufficient to sustain your needs. It is now finding that Social Security, the SSI benefits, is up to $953. And it's still, at the time that we live in right now, $953 is not sufficient to take care of all your needs. So what we need to do is ask questions before, find out is there any other alternative. Is there any other alternative? you gotta know the rules and regulation about SSI, about disability, and especially, well, SSI is easy to get in trouble with, but disability is just as easy to get in trouble with. Because with disability, if you decide to go back to work, what they call gainful employment, if you decide to go back to work, then you have to let them know that you're of your intention. So therefore that they don't penalize you. We hear that word often when it comes down to benefits that the government's helping you with. Doesn't have to be that way. 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. I would like to hear from one more person before we get off the air regarding some of the things that we talked about today. 305-945-1580. One person. So to recap, we talked about open enrollment for Part B, which start January 1st to March 31st. So right now you have some time to enroll. If you not enroll in Part B, right now is the time for you to do so. Don't procrastinate, because before you know it, February is done, and you're facing March. And now, if you don't do it by March, guess what? You lost an entire year. You'd have to wait till January to do that. Not unless by a strong miracle happen, and then we find a loophole to file for you. But right now, we don't have to go through that hoop. January 1st to March 31st is the time for you to do that. Remember, the Part B covers for doctor's visit, specialists, DME. It covers if the doctor is giving you a medication inside the office. It covers that medication and all co-payment as well. Wait a minute. Not the Medicaid is going to cover the co-payment for you. We talk about those of you that applying for SSI. We explained to you the limitation that SSI has, whether it's a traveling limitation, whether it's income limitation, whether it's money and assets limitation. Those are the things that you should know. And those are the questions that you should ask. We talk about how you could avoid going back in the same situation where you're unable to pay for the Part B. If that's the case, then there are options that you could take that's going to cover the Part B for you. So before I leave, I'm going to remind you one more time. Subscribe to this show. Go on WSRF 1580 AM on YouTube and Facebook. you could watch it at any time. And sometimes I go home while I'm eating, I'm listening to the show and get an idea of what it feels like to sit at home and getting this information. So consider yourself blessed, consider yourself lucky to be getting this information right from the convenience of your living room. Well, my time is up. Again, my name is Gilbert Francklin. You could always reach me. That Franklin is without a C. You could always reach me at 954-667-4885, 954-667-4885. I love you guys. See you soon. Chloe, I love you. Happy birthday. You're my heart. You're one of my heart. The other heart is Sabel. And let's not forget wifey as well. We want to make sure everybody's accounted for. Again, I love you guys. A bientôt. Bye-bye.
I worship